like cockroaches when they've been sprayed with poison, fornicating like they know their time is short. They are going maximum corrupt right now. And we're going to see more and more fireworks from here on out.
I don't think people understand what they've done with these bailouts. The $750,000 bailout, the very first one we passed, and then the second one, the $850 billion. Take that money and add that up, divide that by how many people in this country have a home mortgage, and you could pay off literally 90% of the home mortgages in this country. If they really wanted to put money back into the economy, give people an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month, they would have paid off their mortgage bills, not fed money into the banks that created the problem in the first place.
William, I totally agree with you. Continue describing what the film goes through. I mean, if somebody gets Life on the Edge of a Bubble, Blowing the American Dream, I mean, because it covers a whole bunch of different subjects, really a wide spectrum analysis of how this scam works.
Yeah, well, there towards the end, we do get into the Federal Reserve and we tell people how these things have connected. But really and truly, I don't want to give too much away in the film because this is unlike anything I've ever done before, where I typically will use horror. I will typically use scare tactics in a documentary to try and frighten people because I like horror movies and those are the kind of movies I like to make. All right. But this is kind of I'm bowing out from that and trying to create something a little more comical. And this thing sets up certain situations and you think it's going in one direction. And when we get there, you realize that's not where we went.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah. So, I hesitate to give away too many of the little secrets that are in there so that people will get a good, entertainment quality out of it when they watch it. But, the clips alone, we researched over 750 different film reels from 1900 to now, grabbing up commercials and grabbing up footage that applies, for instance, some of the public service announcements that were coming out in the 30s and the 40s for kids in school, talking about you shouldn't steal or talking about going to a party. The entire documentary, we refer to the bubble that we're talking about here as a party. That's what it is. Everybody was invited to the party. Once everybody got there, the banking corporations started spiking the punch, and then everybody got really happy and crazy and thought nobody could lose money. Housing prices will never go down. These are the lies that we bought into and believed, and of course they were totally false. If you look through history, every 20 years you find out it is false. And I can't believe that Alan Greenspan and some of these men in the positions that they're in can't look back over the last 200 years of our country's history and figure this out for themselves.
Well, they know what they're doing. I mean, it's all premeditated on record.
Yeah, well, sometimes I wonder if they're in as much control as they actually think that they are. I know that they're out there manipulating, and there's oftentimes that we can, draw a direct correlation to something that they've done and blame them for it. But I think a lot of times we get caught up in this and we don't realize how much of a part we play in it just by letting Madison Avenue talk us into, through their advertising, for instance, going out and taking out an equity loan on our home to either fix it up or go buy another one to flip it later.
And so many people that got this money spend it on crap at Walmart, stuff that you don't even know what they bought with it.
Yeah, we're all guilty. I'm guilty. Everybody's guilty.
I know. It's a consumer society. It's like grazing. That's why I probably only go to Target or Academy around here maybe once or twice a year because I just load up the thing of T-shirts and fishing poles and ammo. And I'm like a little kid in a sporting goods place. I'm just like snatching things, and then I get it and stick it in the garage, and there's like a giant pile of ammo. And I guess it's important to have, but what am I going to do with all this? I don't even have time to go out and shoot it. But that's less frivolous than most people. The stuff people buy and fill their houses full of.
Yeah, you don't want to turn me loose in an academy because, like I said, Coleman lanterns and sleeping bags and all that stuff that they have in there, it just, fascinates me and makes me whip that credit card.
Are you kidding? Bow and arrows, BB guns. I have a small backyard. The neighbors are always looking over the fence at me, BB gunning and pellet gunning and bow and arrow back there. It's certainly a lot of fun. I was just in academy the other day because we lost all the arrows. My parents have 3 acres in town, and I go over there and shoot them into the woods and end up losing them. But my kids are quite the little Robin Hoods.
Yeah, we were on our way in. It was all I could do to not stop at the academy. We don't have them in Missouri.
Oh, you saw Valhalla.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'll be visiting Academy before I leave just to buy a little trinket and say I visited Academy while I was here. But
the only problem with Academy on the side issue is I bought one gun there. And I go in, and the manager comes down. He goes, "Oh, I'm a big fan. I saw you on the surveillance camera." And then I bought the handgun, bought the ammo, and then he said, I'm going to give it to you once you get to your car. And I think they were kind of scared of me, like I was going to grab the handgun and, start like an old Western in a saloon or something. But hell, Walmart writes your name down when you buy ammo now, so you can't buy ammo at Walmart.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, they don't do it at Academy yet. But so what do you want at Academy?
I think I want a new Coleman lantern.
They brought back the old-fashioned, pewter metal cap guns that are like heavy with a holster with the caps. And I'd say I got them for my son, but I've been playing with it.
We know.
And the neighbors, I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of fun. We need to get into the film when we get back and take some phone calls. Life on the edge of a bubble, blowing the American dream. And by the way, Academy, I just gave them one hell of an ad. One hell of a plug there. I got to stay here tonight and work all night. I can't go home and get the bows and arrows out, though.
That sucks.
It does. I tell you, it's enjoyable sitting in the backyard and sit there and shoot the target.
Yeah, we used to live out in the country. We were about 25 miles outside city limits.
Tell me about it when we get back. Tell me about it. Your call's coming up in the next segment at 1-800-259-9231. 1-800-259-9231. I am Alex Jones, your host, and I'm glad you're here with us today. MHL, Eric, Chris, Brian, who disagrees, will go to the head of the line. John and others, your calls are coming up. And the film is Life on the Edge of a Bubble. Now, I want to hear about the concentration camp film. You're here in town to interview me for this, and you're interviewing Representative Guest and others. Very, very exciting. Maybe I actually pulled my concentration camp files. I'd be happy to share them with you. I know you guys probably done more research than I have, but I have extensive files. You could probably go interview the state rep. There's also a city councilman in Oregon where the feds came in and showed them they were building a camp. So, and that was first in NBC locally there, and then we contacted them on the Oregon-Washington border, and we interviewed that guy. So there's actually a lot of folks I can put you on to dealing with FEMA camps because we need to counter Glenn Beck. And I saw in the trailer for the FEMA camp film that it looks like you're going to go after Glenn Beck.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to respond directly to Beck, and I guess that's why you're here. Do you want me to like break that down?
Yeah, we're going to talk about all that.
Okay, well, I look forward to doing that and give you as much time as I can, with the schedule, but I can probably give you guys more than an hour than what I originally said because this is important. Let's right now talk about the film. Not the new film people can get right now, but the film coming out. When does this film come out?
We'll probably be in production for about 3.5 months. So about fall, right around in there, just right before Christmas.
October, November.
Yeah, as soon as possible. Honestly, some of these projects take 2 years to put together. But
no, I know. I meant to already have another Obama film out about the whole banking agenda, and I just get stuck because there's so much evidence. I keep hoarding more and more.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to sort through this information, and I think this is going to be getting back to, I hate to say conspiracy, but this is going to be getting back to the roots of things that I like to cover. And, these are some things that that you woke me up to, 10 years ago listening to you on the radio. So these are things that I'm excited to actually expose to people now because we noticed, there's really not any good documentaries out there on FEMA camps. Nobody's got the legislation. No one's presenting any guest of your caliber being able to cohesively talk about these issues. And this is what we want to do is put together a documentary that explains all of this about FEMA camps, why they're being hidden from the American people, why the legislation is not out there in the media, it's why it's not being talked about, and see if we can't create some feedback and some hopefully tick some people off so that we can go take some political action.
Well, I'll tell you why I love this, William. It's great to be able to be in your film because Aaron Russo called me over and over again wanting for me to be in American Freedom to Fascism, and I was busy doing my other stuff and told him no. And I wish I'd have done it because it was such a prolific film. And I knew Aaron had liked him and promoted his film. I was just too busy. I've learned, though, it's better to be in somebody else's film because then you can do all the work and I get to see the great, end result and see it wake people up. So I'm very happy and I actually had him pull all the files. I can just give you the full, take, absolutely documenting FEMA camps today. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to be able to offer that to the listeners. So I'm honored that you wanted to include me in the film. Tell us how you woke up. You're saying you woke up from my show, or?
Yeah, we've discussed this before.
I'd forgotten. I just found it interesting.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, 10 years ago approximately, I was a graphic designer designing CD covers and, working with Ike and Tina Turner and some of these really old blues people. And during the day when I was sitting there designing the covers or producing or whatever,